What you tolerate reveals your values. If you want to know your actual core values, not the ones you put on a poster, I want you to look at what you tolerate. That might sound harsh to you, but stay with me. Because this isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the it's the most honest mirror that you can put in front of yourself. And it mirrors your leadership alignment, your tolerance patterns. Here's the key. What you put up with, what you let slide, what you let normalized. Because what you tolerate, you teach. And what you protect, you reveal. Most leaders can name their core values pretty quickly if you ask them. Maybe it's integrity, excellence, family, growth, honesty. For me, growth is a big one, and also integrity and excellence. But here's what I've noticed in my work. There's often a gap between stated values and lived values. And that gap shows up most clearly in what we tolerate. So let me give you some examples. If you tolerate chronic overwork, not but as a pattern, you may actually value achievement over sustainability, even if sustainability is what you put on your poster. If you tolerate poor communication from your team or in your relationships, letting things slide because addressing them feels harder than ignoring them, you may value peace over clarity, even if you'd say clarity matters most. If you tolerate boundary violations, people constantly asking more than is reasonable, and you consistently saying yes, you may value being liked over being respected. Now, here's what I want you to hear. This isn't about shame. This is about information. Your tolerance patterns are data. They're telling you something about where your actual values might be different from your aspirational values. And that's important to know because misalignment between what you say matters and what you actually protect. That's exhausting. That's where leadership starts to feel hollow, even when results look strong. I want to share something I've been noticing in my own leadership lately. I realized I've been tolerating a certain kind of busyness, the kind that feels productive but isn't actually aligned with my mission. Meetings that could be email, commitments that looked good but didn't serve my actual priorities. And when I got honest about it, I realized I was tolerating it because saying it felt harder than saying yes. I was actually valuing approval, or at least avoiding disapproval over alignment. That's uncomfortable to admit, that naming it gave me power over it. Now I'm practicing something different. Before I say yes to something, I ask, am I protecting what matters, or am I tolerating what's easier? That one question has changed more decisions than I expected. Here's the thing about tolerance patterns. They don't change overnight, and they shouldn't. Some of what you tolerate for good reasons. So context matters. Seasons matter. Not every boundary needs to be a wall. But some of what you tolerate, you've normalized it. You stop noticing it, and it's quietly draining your energy and eroding your alignment. That was me until I started living out this authentic imprint, really asking myself each day, okay, what is my strength? What is my core value? What is my mission? How's my emotional recognition? This practice isn't to suddenly stop tolerating everything. The practice is to get curious and ask yourself, what am I currently tolerating that doesn't align with my values? What is that tolerance costing me in energy and trust and integrity? 3 things important to me in my core values. What would it look like to protect that value, even in a small way this week? So here's what I want you to take away from today. Your tolerance patterns are one of the most honest mirrors you can have. Not what you say matters, what you actually protect when it costs something. If you want to close the gap on how you're leading and how you want to lead, start by getting curious about what you've been tolerating. Not with judgment, but with pure honesty. And if you want help seeing where your values and leadership might be out of alignment, check out the free Authentic Imprint assessment I created. It only takes you 3 minutes, and it gives you a clear picture of where to focus. You can find it on my website at danawilliamsco.com, or you can also go to danawilliamsco.scoreapp.com. Here's what I want you to remember. What you tolerate, you teach. What you protect, you reveal. This week, let's choose to protect something that matters.